Hello everyone. In this video lecture, I will cover the architecture of distributed system and the comparison between the architectures. Let's talk about architecture. Architecture, that means how actually the computers are connected. The arrangement of computers, you can tell as an architecture. Two types of architectures are available for distributed system application systems. Two types. First type is shared memory architecture. The shared memory architecture is also known as a tightly coupled system architecture. And the second architecture available is distributed memory architecture. The distributed memory architecture is again called as a loosely coupled system architecture. Let us talk about shared memory architecture. The first architecture, shared memory architecture. In the shared memory architecture, your processing element, the full form of PE is processing elements. Many processing elements are connected using the interconnection network. This interconnection network can be a bus or can be a switch. By using this interconnection network, these all processing elements communicate with each other and they generates the actual result for the application. They all are sharing the memory. This is a memory, shared memory. This shared memory area is shared between all the processing elements. This is a common memory area for the all processing elements. That means if assume that this processing element have the process and process having one task, and for that task it wants the value of x. This x is stored inside the shared memory and the value of x is 5 right now. If this processing element 1 process wants the value of x, then by using this interconnection network, this processing element can access the value of x and fetch the value of x over here. And if this processing element wants to update the value of x, then it updates the value of x. Say for the example, here is some instruction that updates the value of x, and this instruction is available on the processing element 1. This value will become a 6 and it will affect on a shared memory, so that if any other processing elements wants to access the value of x, it always get the updated value of x, because this x is stored only and only at the single memory space, and this space is a shared between all the processing elements, so that if anyone wants to modify the value of x, all other have the visibility of the updated value of the x only, right? Now think about the scalability. Your distributed system must be scalable. Scalable means if you want to extend your existing system, then your system should be able to accept the extended elements. If I want to say for the example, if I am having the banking branches inside the Ahmedabad city, now I want new branch in Maharashtra state. Your system should be scalable, so that if I am including one processing element node inside the Maharashtra branch, then that Maharashtra branch processing element easily can communicate with the already existing system. Is it possible by using this shared memory architecture? So it is not possible easily by using the shared memory architecture. If you want to scale the data, scale your system, then there is a limit for the this interconnection network. If you are involving lots of computer and you are using a single communication network, then the communication network overhead, and you will not get your result very good. So this shared memory architecture is basically not scalable. It is a lack of scalability is available in this architecture. So if you want to expand your your existing system in future, then you should go for the next architecture, that is a distributed memory architecture. Now this architecture is actually best suitable for the parallel processing application concepts, where the single task is divided into small tasks, and all tasks works parallelly and all are sharing the data. So this architecture is basically suitable for the parallel processing kind of applications. I will discuss about parallel processing, difference between parallel processing and distributed processing in this video lecture later. Now, next is second architecture. It is distributed memory architecture. The second architecture of distributed system is distributed memory architecture. Now, in distributed memory architecture, all the computers are having their own memories to store the data, and it is called as a local memory. All the computers having their local memories, and all computers having the CPU powers, and all are connected using the network, and these networks can be a LAN or it can be a ATM switch. So all the processing elements are connected with each other using LAN or ATM switch network, and all the processing done locally. Now here there is no sharing. Now think about if this is the CPU number 4 and this is the CPU number 1. This first processing elements wants the data X. So, and this X is not available inside the local memory. So if this processing element wants the value of X and X is not available in local memory, what happens? This processing element search for the value of X from the other computers. Suppose that this CPU 4 having the value of X right now. This particular node asks for the value of X, and this CPU will reply with the value of X. Then this CPU stores the value of X in a local memory. Then it processes on the value of X. So here there is no sharing, but it always send and receive mechanism. It always send the message what is the value of X in a network, and the CPU having the value of X, they all are replies to the sender node. So such that all the computers are communicating with each other via sending and receiving mechanism. Later on chapter you will learn about how to send, how to receive the value of some value of some variable and which is not available in a local memory. Now think about the program. It is very difficult to create a software if you are making your architecture in the distributed memory architecture, because there is lots of copies of X are available, and all X copies are available on multiple computers. Now this CPU one have updated the value of x, but this all having the older value. Say for the example, here the value of x is 4, here the value of x is 3, and the latest value of x is 5. All are making the local copies of x, and now find out which value is latest and updated. So here there is no record which value of x is updated. So to maintain this all the replica updated, you need some mechanism to get the updated value on or the node before processing the next instruction. So this you have to implement using some software program. So that's why this distributed memory architecture is difficult to program. This architecture is scalable, but if you want to include any node, then you just need to add your computers using the network. All the computer will communicate with each other, and they will send and receive the data, and they can communicate with each other. So that this architecture is actually scalable. Now how it's cheap? So as many number of computers you will involve, the number of cost will increase, but in the same manner you will get your response very fast. So the ratio of output execution speed and the cost that you are uh, cost cost they are you are cost they that you are increasing by adding the node, that also increasing. The ratio of, though you are including new node, then also you will at the same time you will get your execution speed faster. So that's why this actually this architecture is cheaper. So now next is the comparison between this both the architecture. Shared memory architecture and distributed memory architecture. About the scalability, you can write the figure also to define the difference. The basic communication mechanism is different. Then about the scalability, shared memory architecture is not scalable. Distributed memory architecture is scalable. Programming software that you need to design. For the shared memory architecture, it is easy to design. You just need to use the concept of mutual exclusion that is available in an operating system. When one process is accessing the data X, you just need to provide the lock. When X is unused for process, then just unlock and release that lock from the X value so that another process can access. So you can implement this shared memory mechanism by using the concept of mutual exclusion. It is while the distributed memory architecture is hard to implement because you have to maintain your replica updated. The cost to design a shared memory is high compared to distributed memory. Tight. It is also shared memory is also called as a tightly coupled system, and this distributed memory is also called the loosely coupled system. Now let us talk about comparison of parallel processing system and distributed system. The parallel when you should create a parallel processing and when you should create the uh, distributed system application. So when you have a single task and multiple processes, at that time you should go for the parallel processing because you have the single task and you want to deliver your task quickly. So you can divide your big task into small tasks and assign it to multiple processes. Now whenever you have multiple tasks and you want to execute this task on a different location, at that time you should use the distributed system concept. Example for the parallel processing kind of application. find the average of the elements of a large array data. You have the array of data and you want to find the average of all the elements, but the number of elements are in terms of thousands, in terms of uh, 1 lakh. At that time, to find the average by using a single process is very difficult and it takes a very long time. For that, you can divide your array into small parts and you can create the multiple processes and you can assign the data to your multiple processes. Say for the example, array of 100 element, you can create the 10 processes and just assign the first 10 element average to the first process, second 10 elements, that means 11 to 20 to the second process, 21 to 30 to the third process, such that you can assign the 91 to 100 elements to the last process and find the average. And after getting the average, or you can find the sum also, and after getting the sum from the all the nodes, you just sum again for the all received sums of elements and then find the average. So you can divide your big task into such a small task. You can divide your array data and assign it to processes. So here it is a concept of parallel processing. Then search the data from the large array. If you want to search some elements from the array of strings, and this string array is very large in terms of thousand, and if you want to search fast, then you can divide your whole data and assign that data to the processes like that we have assigned for the array of integers values. You can assign the first process 1000 data array, 100 data, second process another 100 data, third process another 100 data, and this all process working parallelly to find that data from the string array. If anyone get the result first, they announce the result so that other process can stop their work. Like that, you can divide your big task of searching data from the large array into small tasks. So it is called as a parallel processing. While you have an website, you have to store the data, you have to retrieve your data, you have to generate the response in a form of HTML, that means request handling processing. For that, you can design your system computers like that. One computer is responsible for the data processing task, another computer is responsible to uh, handle the request and to generate the reply. So if in your system having a multiple task, then you should go for the distributed system concept. The memory architecture with for the parallel processing system, the shared memory architecture is best suitable. And if you are using the distributed system concept, then distributed memory architecture is more suitable for the distributed system. The inter-process communication, that means how multiple processes communicate with each other. For parallel processing, they are using the shared memory architecture and they are sharing the data and to communicate with each other. While whenever you are using the distributed system concept, your processing element communicate with each other by sending and receiving the message. By sending and receiving the message. So message passing is a concept to communicate between the computers if you are using the distributed system application, right? So